What's up? Hey guys, so I have one question before we begin. Why do we as women, or even men, stay in a situationship or relationship where we are unhappy? It's something that I have to ask myself too. I think that as women, we hold more cards than we tend to think, right? Like, we will sit there and we don't set an expectation from the jump. We may be like tough on some things at first, but then eventually we just kind of like fall in love and be so in our feelings that we tend to ignore things. So eventually we get into situations where eventually we're unhappy and we've compromised so much that we feel like we're stuck and we can't say anything or that person's going to leave. And then for me, I feel like I've compromised so much in the past and in my past relationships, and even so just because like of me being more of a giver and like I'm always the understanding one. I'm always the one who's, trying to be loving and make sure that I'm your place of peace, and not realizing like I'm not getting even basic needs that I need fulfilled. Like, I like to date, I like to spend time, I like to get good morning texts, good night texts. Like, I like to be the person who you think of when you wake up and when you fall asleep, because like that should mean that we're in a good place and you want to talk to me. But eventually down the line, that it's not happening, or it never has happened, and we don't say anything. So we stay in a situation where we're just unhappy, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's something that I need the answer to as well. But from my experience, this is the only way that I can speak to you. From my experience, I believe setting the expectation in the beginning will determine the route that you go on. I think there are things that we should compromise on, right? Because like everybody is not going to be accustomed to doing that, or that may not be them. And those are things that you can find a halfway point in the middle. But I think if it's something like you want to date once a week, that shouldn't be hard. Oh, I want to spend time with you. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't spend time with you. Then guess what? Like, if you can't spend time with me, then we don't need to be together. And unfortunately, like, we let it go on so much that it's beyond the point of us being able to say, I don't want to be in this anymore, because you feel like you spent so much time and then you feel like so much is going to be lost. But I'm here to tell you, once you let it go and then you meet someone who's actually going to do the work and who's going to meet you halfway and who's going to love on you like you deserve to be loved on, then you tend to feel happier. And what you've lost, right? Like, or what they've lost, in other words, but what you've lost is short term. It's like it's a little bitty loss, and then you get this big old gain. One of my good friends, Adam, always says it's a short term loss for a long term gain, and it's true. Like, whether that's through spending money or whatever the case may be, but in this situation, like, it is way better to have your needs fulfilled, and instead of feeling like you have to compromise everything. Compromise is a two-way street. Like, it has to be somewhere in the middle. So definitely take time to try to set expectations with the person that you're dealing with. Make sure that you are letting them know what your deal breakers or deal makers are. For anybody wondering, my deal breakers are spending time, well, not spending time, moreover, not dating, I'm just very, like, I want to see you. I'm not big on like these extravagant dates, but I do want to see you and be in your presence and chill with you more than just once or twice a week. Like, that's just a thing for me. Like, those are deal breakers for me. So that's number one. Number two, once you set that expectation, you should be able to have the conversation openly with that person and then see where they are as well. Like, see what their expectations are of you. If you don't have those expectations set, then y'all kind of just are in limbo, and then somebody's feelings get hurt because one person is expecting something else out of the other person, and they're like, I never said I was going to give you that. So that's number two. Number three, just be honest and upfront. If you want to date 3 or 4 other people while you're talking to somebody else, that is fine. There is nothing wrong with playing the field. However, I think it needs to be said. If you don't say it, a person will get more emotionally attached. A person will end up saying, hey, like, I want to be with you, and you may not be on that page, and that's okay. But I think it needs to be said from jump. So definitely take time to do that, because it not only helps people's feelings not get hurt, it helps you. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope that kind of helps somebody or kind of bring some insight. I know it's hard. I know we all deal with it, but I'm just here to help, guys. Peace.